Emily Taylor had a bad feeling. It started the moment she stepped into Claire's house for their usual movie night and heard her best friend's mom squeal, "Oh, Emily, sweetheart." Just in time. Mrs. Scott practically dragged her inside. Beaming like Christmas had come early, Emily blinked. Time for what?" Before Mrs. Scott could answer, another voice cut in. "Time for you to see how much you missed me." Emily froze at "oh no." She turned very, very slowly, and there he was, Christopher Scott, tall, smirking, dangerously attractive in an expensive suit that should be illegal. He leaned casually against the staircase like he owned the place. Which, technically, he did Emily's first instinct. Run? Her second? Smack Claire. Claire, who was way too amused as she sipped her soda from the couch, Emily inhaled sharply. "Christopher." "Emily," he said smoothly, as if he hadn't disappeared for 5 years and come back looking like a whole magazine cover. She crossed her arms. "I thought you were in London." He stepped closer, eyes locked on hers. "I told you I'd come back for you." Her brain short-circuited. "Oh, no, Mrs. Scott clapped her hands. "Isn't this exciting?" "Christopher's back, and the two of you can finally—" "Mom," Claire cut in, grinning at Emily's barely concealed panic. "Let's not scare her just yet." Christopher chuckled. Emily glared, and that's when Mr. Scott appeared. "Emily," he greeted, way too enthusiastically. "Come in, sit down. We were just talking about you." Emily squinted. "That's not comforting." Christopher smirked. "You'll get used to it." Emily snapped her gaze to Claire. "You let me walk into a trap." Claire just shrugged. "In my defense, you should have known." Mrs. Scott pushed Emily toward Christopher. "Oh, don't be shy, dear. You two have so much catching up to do." Emily didn't even get a chance to argue, because Christopher, smug, insufferable, infuriating Christopher, leaned down and murmured, "I meant what I said. Emily, I'm back for you. And this time, I'm not going anywhere." Emily's stomach did an actual somersault. She was so doomed. Chapter 2. Emily needed out. Immediately, she turned to Claire, silently begging for an escape route. Claire? Completely useless. She just wiggled her eyebrows like this was entertainment instead of Emily's personal nightmare. Christopher, meanwhile, was having the time of his life. "You look flustered, sweetheart," he murmured. Way too close. Emily took a step back. "I'm not flustered. I'm just staring at me like you missed me." Her eye twitched. I was about to say deeply annoyed. Mrs. Scott clapped her hands. "Oh, Christopher, stop teasing the poor girl." Christopher, the menace, just smirked. "Why? It's fun." Emily mentally counted to 10. Christopher had been back for 5 minutes, and already, she wanted to throw him into the nearest lake. And yet, because life was cruel, Mrs. Scott wasn't done meddling. "Oh, Emily, dear," she said sweetly. "Why don't you and Christopher go on a little walk?" Emily almost choked. What now?" Christopher's smirk deepened. "That's a great idea." "It's a terrible idea," Emily corrected. Mr. Scott waved a hand. "Nonsense. You two used to be so close." Emily gawked. "No, we weren't." Christopher nodded. "She's right. She was too busy pretending not to be obsessed with me." Emily let out a strangled noise. "I was not." "Oh, you definitely were." Mrs. Scott gently shoved them toward the door. "Off you go. Enjoy yourselves." Emily tried to dig her heels in. "I have literally no interest in." The door shut behind them. Emily turned to Christopher, who looked entirely too pleased with himself. "I hate your entire family," she informed him. Christopher shrugged. "That's fine. They love you enough to make up for it." Emily threw her hands in the air. "Why are you even here?" Christopher tilted his head. "I told you. I came back for you." Emily stared at him. "You cannot be serious." He smiled. That slow, confident, "I always win" smile that made her stomach flip. "Oh, I'm serious, Emily." He stepped closer, gaze locked on hers. "I meant every word I said 5 years ago. And this time, I'm going to prove it." Emily's heart stuttered. She was so unprepared for this man. And the worst part? He knew it. Chapter 3. Emily had 2 options. Point 1. Run. Point 2. Stand her ground and tell Christopher exactly where he could shove his ridiculous declaration. Unfortunately, before she could pick either, Christopher grabbed her hand and started walking. "What are you doing?" she hissed, stumbling after him. "Taking you on that walk," he said casually, like he hadn't just hijacked her evening. Emily yanked at her hand. "No luck." The man was annoyingly strong. "You don't just get to waltz back into town and act like I'm here to win you over?" He flashed a grin. "Because I absolutely do." Emily stared at him, trying to determine if he was joking. He wasn't. Christopher Scott, billionaire, menace, lifelong source of her headaches, was dead serious. Emily exhaled sharply. "This is ridiculous." "Is it?" "Yes. You can't just decide you want me like I'm some kind of business acquisition." Christopher stopped walking, and then, to her absolute horror, he took her chin between his fingers, tilting her face up to his. "Emily," he murmured, "I don't want you like a business acquisition." Her breath caught. His thumb brushed her jaw. "I want you like a man who's been waiting 5 years to claim what should have been his all along." Emily's brain short-circuited. "What?" She cleared her throat. "What is wrong with you?" Christopher's lips twitched. "A lot of things. But my feelings for you? Not one of them." Emily yanked herself free, ignoring the way her heart was currently attempting to escape her chest. "This is insane," she muttered, turning on her heel. "I'm going home." Christopher did not look remotely concerned. "Okay." He slipped his hands into his pockets. "I'll see you tomorrow." Emily froze. She turned slowly. "No, you will not." "Oh, I will." "Christopher." He winked. "Sweet dreams, sweetheart." Emily stormed off, ignoring the way her face was burning. Point one thing was clear: Christopher Scott was out of his mind. And if she wasn't careful, she was going to lose hers, too. Chapter 4. Emily stormed into Claire's apartment, fully prepared to yell. Claire, however, was waiting with popcorn. "You knew," Emily accused. Claire took a dramatic bite. "Knew what?" Emily threw her bag onto the couch. "That your brother is insane." Claire smirked. "Oh, that? Yeah, obviously." Emily pointed a shaky finger. He said he meant it." Claire gasped. "No, not a man of his word." Emily glared. "You're the worst." Claire grinned. "I know. But seriously, what did he do?" Emily flopped onto the couch. "He took me on a walk." Claire nodded. "Romantic." Emily scowled. "It was kidnapping." Claire hummed. "Sure. And?" Emily crossed her arms. "He's convinced he's going to win me over." Claire shrugged. "I mean, yeah." Emily stared. "You're supposed to be on my side." Claire tilted her head. "I am. I just think it's cute that my hot billionaire brother is finally getting his act together and chasing the one girl who's always ignored him." Emily groaned. "You have to admit," Claire continued, "he's persistent." Emily threw up her hands. "He's delusional." Claire laughed. "Maybe, but you're doomed, babe." Emily covered her face. "I refuse to acknowledge this conversation." Claire patted her knee. "You're cute when you panic." Emily let out a muffled scream into a pillow. Claire just grinned. Oh, Emily was so screwed. And the worst part, this was just the beginning. Chapter 5. Emily had one goal for the day: avoid Christopher Scott at all costs. Unfortunately, Christopher Scott had other plans. IT started innocently enough. She went to work, grabbed coffee, and almost convinced herself that Christopher had better things to do than harass her. Then he sent a card, a black, sleek, obviously expensive car that pulled up outside her office, drawing everyone's attention. Her coworker, Lisa, gasped. "Oh my God, Emily. Are you secretly dating a billionaire?" Emily choked on her coffee. "Absolutely not." The driver stepped out. "Miss Taylor." Emily stared. No, the driver didn't blink. "Mr. Scott sent me." Lisa grabbed Emily's arm. "Emily, who is Mr. Scott?" Emily covered her face. "A nuisance," Lisa gasped. "A sexy nuisance?" Emily groaned. "I refuse to answer that." The driver, completely unfazed, opened the door. "Mr. Scott insists." Emily gritted her teeth. "Tell Mr. Scott that I insist he leaves me alone." The driver did not look concerned. He said you'd say that. Emily scowled. Of course, he did. Lisa grabbed her shoulders. Emily, if you don't get in that billionaire car right now, I will. Emily let out a frustrated sigh, and then her phone rang. Christopher's name flashed on the screen. She picked up. You have got to be kidding me. Christopher's lazy drawl came through the line. Good morning to you too, sweetheart. Emily gritted her teeth. What is this? A ride, he said smoothly. You have lunch in 30 minutes. I took the liberty of making a reservation. Emily blinked. You what? Get in the car, Emily. Her coworkers were staring. Her boss was staring. The driver was patiently waiting. Emily took a slow, deep breath. Christopher? Yes, sweetheart. I hate you. Christopher chuckled. Sure you do. And because she was apparently losing her mind, Emily got in the car. Chapter 6. The moment Emily slid into the car, she regretted everything because Christopher was there, sitting way too comfortably, wearing a smug expression that made her want to shove him out of the moving vehicle. I see you took my invitation. He grinned. Emily crossed her arms. I took a hostage situation. Christopher laughed. Sweetheart, if this were a hostage situation, you'd be tied up. Emily's jaw dropped. Did you just? He winked. Relax. That comes later. Emily let out a strangled sound. This was why she had spent years ignoring him. Unfortunately, Christopher had zero interest in being ignored. The car stopped in front of a ridiculously fancy restaurant. Emily frowned. How did you even get a reservation here? Christopher smirked. Money. Emily rolled her eyes. Disgusting. Christopher held out his hand. Shall we? Emily ignored it and stepped out of the car on her own. Mistake, because the second she did, cameras flashed. She froze. What the Christopher placed a hand on her back, smoothly guiding her inside. Ignore them. Ignore them, she hissed. Why are they even here? He gave her a knowing look, and that's when it hit her. He planned this. Emily stopped walking. Christopher, tell me you didn't tip off the paparazzi. Christopher looked far too innocent. Of course not. Emily narrowed her eyes. Really? Maybe just a little. Emily smacked his arm. Are you insane? He chuckled. Sweetheart, this is called strategy. Strategy for what? Christopher leaned in, voice dropping. Making it clear to the world that you're mine. Emily's brain short-circuited. Her heart slammed against her ribs, and the worst part, she wasn't even sure she hated it. Chapter 7. Emily needed 3 things immediately. Point 1. A time machine to go back and punch herself for getting into that car. Point 2. A lawyer to sue Christopher Scott for emotional distress. Point 3. An explanation for why she wasn't running away screaming, because instead of leaving like a sane person, she was sitting in a ludicrously fancy restaurant, across from a man who looked entirely too pleased with himself. You're staring, Christopher noted. Amusement twinkling in his eyes, Emily snapped back to reality. I'm plotting your demise. He grinned. Good to know you're thinking about me. Emily picked up the menu, mostly to avoid his gaze. The prices were ridiculous. Christopher, I can't afford to eat here. I know. She slowly lowered the menu. And that doesn't concern you? He smirked. Why would it? I'm paying. Emily let out a slow breath. You can't just, I can. He leaned back in his chair, completely at ease. And I will. Emily scowled. You're infuriating. Christopher's lips twitched. And yet, here we are. Before Emily could respond, the waiter arrived, and to her horror, he recognized Christopher immediately. Mr. Scott, welcome back. The waiter smiled, then turned to Emily. And you must be the lucky lady. Emily choked on air. Christopher? He just grinned. She's the luckiest, he said smoothly. Emily kicked him under the table. Christopher didn't even flinch. The waiter beamed. I'll bring out your usual, sir. And for the lady. Emily glared at Christopher. I'll take whatever's the cheapest. Christopher sighed. She'll have the filet mignon. Emily kicked him again. I will not. Christopher arched a brow. Would you prefer I feed you by hand? Emily's entire body burned. The waiter quickly excused himself, probably to go tell the entire staff that Christopher Scott was publicly flirting with an obviously unprepared woman. Emily buried her face in her hands. Christopher chuckled. "You're adorable when you panic." Emily peeked at him through her fingers. "You're deranged." Christopher tilted his head. "And yet, you're still here." Emily wanted to argue. She really did. But the terrifying part, she had no idea why she wasn't leaving. Chapter 8. Emily barely survived lunch. Barely. And just when she thought she'd escaped Christopher's insanity, her best friend and parents decided to intervene. Because, of course, they did. The moment she stepped into her apartment, her phone rang. It was Claire. Emily stared at the screen. Nope. She declined the call. 2 seconds later, Claire texted, "Mobile phone with arrow, answer or I'm breaking in." Emily groaned. Then, another text. "Mobile phone with arrow, actually, forget breaking in." "I gave Mom your spare key." Emily froze. She wouldn't. Her phone rang again. This time, it was her mother. Emily answered with pure dread. "Hi, Mom." "Don't hi me," her mother shouted. "Why am I finding out from the internet that you're dating Christopher Scott?" Emily face-bombed. "Mom, I am not dating. Then why is there a photo of him looking at you like you're the last cookie on earth?" Emily groaned. "Because he's insane." Her mother ignored her. "He took you to the Maison? That place is impossible to book. Do you know what this means? That I've lost all control over my life? That he adores you." Emily gaped. "Mom, you need to bring him to dinner." Emily choked. "Excuse me? I already told your father." "He's thrilled. He loves Christopher." Emily's soul left her body. "Dad is thrilled." "Of course. He always said if any man could handle you, it was Christopher." Emily almost collapsed. "I feel so betrayed." Her mother sighed dreamily. "You're finally giving me grandbabies." "What?" "See you Sunday, sweetie." Click. Emily stared at her phone in horror. And then, another text. "Mobile phone with arrow, Claire." "Ha ha 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 ha. Mobile phone with arrow, Claire. Told you were doomed." "Mobile phone with arrow, Claire. Also, Christopher just texted me. He said, and I quote, 'Tell my future wife I'll be picking her up at 7 for dinner.'" Emily's entire world tilted. She was going to lose her mind. Or worse, she was starting to like the madness. Epilogue. The beginning of the end. Sunday dinner was a disaster. Or, well, it was for Emily. For Christopher, it was a masterpiece. Her father welcomed him like a long-lost son. Her mother interrogated him while beaming. Claire, the ultimate traitor. Christopher, of course, ate it all up. And the worst part, when dinner ended, he pulled Emily aside and whispered in her ear, "I told you, sweetheart. I meant it when I said I'd come back for you." Emily's heart betrayed her because for the first time, she almost believed him.